Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are featuring a Seiko, and this one is a Seiko 5 limited edition. Seiko is broken up into so many different sub-brands. They really are the monster corporation when it comes to watches. They've obviously got Grand Seiko, King Seiko, Prospex, Presage, Seiko 5, to name a few. And this one is a limited edition, but in Seiko terms that means 6,666 pieces. May sound like a lot, but Seiko do sell an awful amount of watches. This one is more commonly known as a Eugene Kranz limited edition. Now you may be thinking, who the heck is that guy? But he was the voice of Houston Control for most of the Apollo missions. He was the flight director, even on the kind of ill-fated Apollo 11 where they had the oxygen tank blow and you got that famous words, "Houston, we have a problem." He was the guy trying to sort it all out. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches Kenilworth allowing me to review this watch. So many cool brands, ones you may not have heard of, some you definitely have. So if you're in the Kenilworth area, I'd strongly recommend popping into the shop. If you're a bit further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description and at the bottom of the page. Now, all I ask, if you do contact them, please mention the channel. So anyway, sizes, we are talking 38mm by a thickness of 12.5mm. The lug to lug on this, the longest point across the watch, is 44.5, and the bracelet size on this one is 20mm. Now I have the silver dial variant here, though it is also available in black. Black was the original model he would wear back in the Houston Control days, but they're pretty well kept, pretty faithful to the original design. This silver dial is absolutely gorgeous. It's got a sunburst effect to it, so you can see where it catches the light and spins around it. It does look very nice. The hands and hour markers are beautifully polished, considering this is an entry level piece from Seiko. Though I must say it does come in at £400, which is more expensive being that it's a limited edition, but I dare say there's a deal to be had. So anyway, the hour markers are actually applied on this model. Not only that, but also the Seiko and the Seiko 5 logo. You even have a nice polished surround to the date wheel there. And as one would expect from a Seiko, this watch is adored with plenty of lume in both those hour markers and hands there, and the lume pip at the top. And what's a cool feature as well is you may have noticed the date wheel there, the date. Now, if I turn it, let's go counterclockwise, what do we that advances the date there. If I turn it clockwise, then this advances the actual day. And as you can see, we can choose from not only English but Kenji as well there. And I like the fact they are different colors when it comes to the weekend. So if we go back round to Friday, so you can see Friday's a standard black, and you got a black there, and then we get blue for the Saturday, and we turn it around, red for the Sunday. It's a nice little touch, and I do like that. As you can see, we've got a bit of writing here. Water resistant, so to 100 meters. That's pretty standard for the Seiko 5 range. Automatic 24 joule. I think that's a tidy looking dial. I would like to have removed some of that script, like the 10 bar wouldn't be needed really. But still, nonetheless, I think it is very clean and concise how they've done it. As we come past that, we are greeted with a heavily domed crystal. This one is a hard look. So it's not a sapphire, but to be fair, I'm not really that fussed. You can buy aftermarket ones if you so desire and have a watchmaker like myself fit one. But it still looks great. You get plenty of distortion against those hour markers and hands, and it looks very, very cool. Past that, we are greeted with a coin-edged bezel, and this is a count-up bezel. So if I turn this, what's meant by that? If I turn this lume pip to the minute hand, as this comes round, you can count how many minutes it's gone round using the actual bezel. And you may have noticed it spins both ways, and this is like the original. It's not a ratcheting system, it is a friction system, and it does require a bit of oomph to turn it. If I try and turn it with just one finger, it does not happen. You do need to put two fingers on this to actually rotate it, and as you can see, spot on, it really looks good. You do get an aluminium insert on this with the lume pip up there. it suits the watch no end, I think. As we come past this, you've got a cushion case with radial brushwork on top, and the sides are fully polished, and it looks so slim because of that. You tend to read this more than the bezel and the crystal itself, so it looks incredibly slim. As you can see, we do have drilled lugs on this, which does make swapping out the bracelet so much easier. The crown is really recessed, heavily recessed into the side of the case there, so it's not going to you know, kind of irritate you on the back of the hand at all. And to be fair, it's quite easy to get to, so if you got a fingernail, you just pull it out a little bit, and that's gone into the actual date set in there. And if I pull it all the way out, then as you can see, it hacks the movement, so into time set. There is no screw down no screw down crown on this, but to be fair, with 100 meters of water resistant, it's pretty good enough. The back of the watch is a solid case back, though it does have the limited edition numbers on there, which is a nice touch. When I put this on the time graph, I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting much, to be fair, but it came in at, I think it was +2 seconds, which was pretty impressive. The beat rate was, you know, quite far out. That's the tick, and the tock means they're not quite synchronized with each other, but it's not the end of the world. The rate is kind of more important, and it was doing really well and giving a decent amplitude, you know, to boot. So basically, the 4R36 movement has about 40 hours of power reserve to it. It's a 24 dual movement. It also features the Magic Paw auto wind system on this, and it is very, very efficient, it does have to be said. So overall, yeah, pretty bomb proof. The bracelet on this watch, it's okay. It you know, it does feel a little bit light. It is I believe it's a pin and collar system. You do have a stamped clasp on this. The clasp does have 2 levels of micro adjustment, but overall the actual clasp itself is nice and thin, so it doesn't look so bad. But being this is the silver model, I would love to see this on maybe a black leather strap or a nice dark brown, which I happen to have some to show you. There's like a black leather strap, would look quite good. Maybe a little bit too harsh. Yeah, let's go for a, here we go, like a dark brown, something like that could look quite good. If not, an Artem sailcloth strap would look really good, or a grey one. That grey one actually does suit it really, really well. Or if you fancy something a little bit different, you could go for tan as well. Overall, I think this watch would look great on any of those straps. I think it would kind of bring it up a little bit more, but still, nonetheless, it is a very, you know, decent, yeah, it's a good looking strap bracelet which does match it, but I would probably swap it out for a leather strap myself. So let me put this on wrist so you can see how it looks. A quick wrist check. I'm wearing my Seiko 5 as well there. This is one I brought several years ago actually, and modified the living daylights out of it by putting a different crystal, different handset, different bezel insert, different strap. You get the idea. And Bob is wearing the OG. That's the Seiko SKX 007, which is their most famous diver, I believe. So anyway, my wrist size is 7¼ inches. That equates to about 18.5 centimeters. And there you go. I think that personally is a good looking watch. Yes, it's not going to be for everyone, but I personally like it a lot. Anyway, guys, any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll always try and get back to you, but it is getting harder and harder. So all the best, and most importantly, stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.